Are you preparing for your wedding dance and you're looking at doing wedding choreography that you've seen on YouTube?
Being mesmerized by these wonderful YouTube videos is one of the biggest traps that brides and grooms fall into when they're looking at YouTube and looking for a little bit of help with their wedding dance.
In this video, we're gonna pull back the curtain and tell you the absolute truth as to how you and your fiance are gonna need to commit to doing this choreography.
How can we be so confident talking to you guys about all this? Well, for those of you who are new to this channel, this is Clara.
And this is Joel.
And for the past 16 years, we have been full-time ballroom dance teachers.
During this time, we've taught total beginners, wedding couples, all the way up to national and world championship level competitors. So as you can see, we know what it takes to learn choreography.
So the first thing that we want you guys to understand is that there's a difference between being shown something and being taught something.
For sure. Being shown something, you can kind of gain a better understanding of what it is, but only if you're taught it will you actually be able to do it.
Exactly. So for instance, Tiger Woods can show me all he wants how to do a 350-yard drive around a dogleg left and place it right in the middle of the fairway.
That's great for Tiger Woods, but do you think it's improved Joel's game at all?
No.
I can tell you, no.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Or for those of you music lovers out there, I mean, you know, you can watch a YouTube video of a great violinist playing the Flight of the Bumblebees.
That one.
But if you haven't learned how to pick up a violin and do the strokes properly, well, it's not going to even sound as good as that.
Exactly. So the main thing that we guys want you to understand is that we can see or watch YouTube videos that are wonderful, wonderful dancers, professional dancers, teachers that are showing you wonderful choreographies on YouTube. But the question is now, are they able to teach and are you able to learn those same dance moves?
We can easily dance for you a 2.5-minute song and even talk you through it at the same time.
Easy peasy.
But that doesn't mean that you have learned anything by watching it.
Exactly. You might have known what's happening, but the skills are still not acquired. And that's the big thing. And that's what you guys need to understand in developing your own skills for your wedding dance. Otherwise, you're going to end up looking stiff, robotic, and a whole lot more scared than you would seeing the professionals doing it on YouTube.
Yes, you won't look like Tiger Woods, and you're not going to look like that violinist playing the bumblebees.
Exactly. So what is our recommendation for you? Start from the beginning. Learn the fundamental skills. For instance, for me, Joel needs to know how to hold the golf club. I need to know the basics of a proper swing with a golf club before I can start bombing it down the fairway and doing draws or slices or hooks or whatever that might be to be able to put it in the fairway.
That's right. Learn the basic skills first and then move on to learning the choreography.
And that process can be really fun and gratifying as well. I can already get around the golf course and have fun with my buddies. I just might not be hitting it just like Tiger Woods and having these hero shots, but I'm still playing golf and I'm still having fun.
And it'll be the same for you and your partner when you learn the basic skills.
So taking the conversation a little bit further from understanding being shown and being taught, let's go over the actual amount of time it takes for you guys to be able to be taught and learn this different dance moves that you want.
So having looked at much of the wedding choreography out there are on average, let's say, 42 patterns that you can learn.
Yeah, and that's for the full song. And if we now take from our experience, it takes about 30 minutes on average for different type of patterns to be learned and taught by a teacher and a student.
And if you want those moves to be comfortable and easy, then you need to practice probably an equal amount of time. So 30 minutes of practice for 30 minutes of being taught. So in reality, that's actually not the whole story. So we're averaging about 42 patterns in a song, but there's also what we call a saturation point.
Exactly. We know that when students learn about 4 to 5 figures, they're okay. They can handle that. It's just like you memorizing 4 words or 5 words in a pattern. But what if we ask you to memorize 42 words in a row and you have to now tell that to us when you are in front of your family and friends?
That's a lot more challenging because we're adding things on top of other things.
So let's just do a quick exercise with you guys. We're going to start saying words and we're going to then pause and see if you can remember what the words are that we told you.
So we'll start with 5 things on, let's say, your grocery list. So apples, pears, bread, steak, and salad dressing.
So that's pretty easy to remember, but then what if we add 5 more things on your list? Napkins, eggs, bacon, cheese, and ham.
Now, if you can repeat those 10 things to us, you're a star, because I cannot remember those 10 things.
Alrighty, but remember, we're only at
gone.
10 so far, so let's just keep on going for a second.
Toothpaste, shampoo, onions, celery, and lettuce.
So within those, maybe we can remember 5 and then that's it, and then recall another 5 and then that's it. But trying to string them together, hopefully you're starting to see that there is a big challenge in terms of memorization. This is the same thing when you're required to remember choreography. They're all in a specific order, you have to get it right, and it is a very difficult undertaking, especially for people who are not used to doing something like this.
And to top it all off, not only do you have to memorize it mentally, but you also have to physically create whatever it is you're doing.
Exactly, your body needs to remember and do that action. So you can remember, okay, underarm turn, then underarm turn, then we're gonna turn to the left, and then we're gonna go into this position and that position. So mentally you might be there, but also physically, boy oh boy, that's a whole other ball game. Remember, Tiger Woods can hit 350 yards, but Joel, not really.
And just to make it even more difficult, not only do you have to remember all of those things in order, but you need to be doing them on time with the music.
Exactly. So if musicality isn't really your thing, if you're not used to learning and dancing and moving to a beat, then that's a whole other skill that just makes it even more complicated. Whoa.
So after hearing all that it takes to learn choreography, are you still really confident and feeling like, Joel and Claire, you're exaggerating.
Yeah, those hours.
We can do this.
Yeah, 42 hours. No
problem.
way, I got this. Well, it might be true, but let's just go over a big list of what factors would go into being faster or possibly slower in the whole learning process.
So one of the things we always ask our couples when they come to us is, do you have prior dance experience? Yeah? Because if you do, then it does, of course, speed up the process.
Second question that we ask our students is, how much musical training do you have? Have you played musical instruments before in the past? Can hear the beats, can count the bars of music, and be able to do that while doing other things as well.
Maybe you don't have dance experience, but you're coordinated. Maybe you played some sports in the past, or you're doing right now, and that makes you easier to pick up choreography.
Along those same lines, possibly you did martial arts or even something like musical theater, which requires you to memorize movements in specific patterns. That can also be very helpful and decrease the amount of time necessary for you to remember and to produce good choreography.
Another thing is performance experience. If you've been on stage, if you've been in theater or singing or something like that, where you really have to express yourself in front of others, that can also be really helpful.
Another thing that speeds up learning to dance within the partner is having experience moving actually with somebody. It could be using martial arts where you're used to grappling or having a physical connection with someone. That can also be really helpful.
And lastly, are you confident? Are you confident with going through and committing to this whole process and learning the choreography together?
But speaking of together, we have to understand that it might be okay for you, and that whole long list of things, you're like, check, yes, check, yes, check, yes. But you're doing this as a partnership. So maybe somebody has all that experience while somebody else might not. And one thing that we want you guys to really understand is this is true teamwork. This is not something in a team where someone could be a superstar and they can help out the partnership really easily, and then the other person can kind of just lay back and let the person score all the goals. But we're actually moving together, and that's so important in this whole process.
A lot of times couples come to us and they say the lady has a lot of dance experience, but the man has zero. In that case, ladies, you need to be patient and you need to let things happen when they do and let him learn.
So which brings us to the final point, which is, do you have experience working together in a kind of a pressured situation where your success is based on your partner's success or your partner's failure, depending on how you look at it? So the question really is are you going to go into something that is quite challenging together and be able to put that onto the dance floor in time for the wedding? So if you'd like to continue your path on learning and memorizing and dancing choreography that you've seen on YouTube, then give yourselves at least 6 months to a full year of pulling this off together.
Unless you're a trained dancer, most likely you're going to need some help as well. Not just by watching and understanding the videos, but by having someone teach the steps to you. During that time, we would strongly suggest that you go to a teacher and learn some dance skills first, not just watch the video and try to copy it.
Exactly. So if I want to hit that 350-yard drive just like Tiger Woods, I should probably have some lessons to learn how to hold the club, maybe hit an 8-iron 150 yards fairly consistently, maybe my driver 200 yards, and from there I can start to progress to a 350-yard bomb down fairway.
And be realistic about it. Don't go to an instructor and say, hey, can I learn this in 4 weeks in 4 lessons? That's probably not going to be possible.
No.
And most instructors that are realistic about it will say, no, I don't think you'll be able to do that.
Exactly, because really our goal for you guys is to look and feel wonderful on your wedding day in front of your family and your friends. If we're pushing you onto the floor and say, this is exactly what you do and just go and do it, the outcome's not going to be what you are looking for. It's going to be, I think this is what it's going to look like, and the reality will be totally different.
Remember that those dancers dancing the choreography for you online are professional dancers. They've probably been dancing for over 20 years like ourselves. And so to think that you would look somewhat like that is probably a little unrealistic. To think that Joel would be able to hit the ball like Tiger Woods is probably a little unrealistic.
Hopeful, but unrealistic. Exactly. So do yourselves a favor. If that's something that you want to do, manage your expectations. Go, well, it might be a little bit awkward at times. We might fumble a little bit, trip on each other, have the hand holds a bit off, maybe bump into each other a little bit, not be as fluid or smooth as musical. And if you're cool with that, go for it. Just give yourself a lot of time, be patient with each other, and then forge onwards. But if there's something else that you want to do instead that is more bulletproof, that is more successful, and a little bit more fun and natural, then there is another option for you guys.
As we always say, learn the skill of dance. Learn the skill of how to dance together with connection and communication. That's the most important thing to do first before learning any sort of choreography.
Exactly. From there, then you build up your skills in terms of actions like underarm turns, spins, dips, all that sort of stuff. Once you have an experience of doing all that, then you can start to progress higher and higher and higher. It's the same thing when you're learning golf, you're learning dancing, you're learning violin playing, and the flight of the bumblebee. Maybe start with Mary Had a Little Lamb first, and then move on to Flight of the Bumblebee afterwards.
Good idea, Joel. So if you want to learn more about how we've taught total beginners how to dance without learning stressful choreography, then you have 2 options.
The first option is to check out our free masterclass. We go over the strategy, skills, and tips, as well as student success stories on how to have your dance the one that you want to have.
The second option is for those of you who are already excited about working with us in our online program. You can connect directly with us by booking a free video chat where we can answer all of your questions.
Access to both of those options are found in the description below.
If you liked our content today, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below.
Thanks again for watching, you guys. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.